And welcome to another episode of DIOTALK. I'm Dio. Let's talk. My guest of the evening is a podcast host. He's a returning guest. He has an amazing podcast called The Art of Letting Go. Ladies and gentlemen, give a warm welcome to Mike Brown. Welcome to the show, man. How are you?
Man, I'm doing good. Thank you for having me again.
Man, I've been dreaming about this episode for quite some time because, like, the first time I had you on the show, I wasn't satisfied because I remember I had to do everything straight from the car because I was working,
I remember that.
and it was so stressful for me, and it made me so unhappy. The next day, I resigned from that job.
Wow. Wow.
I've
That's
been
crazy.
I've been wanting to tell you that story since.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
That's really dope. Damn,
Yeah, man.
that's inspiring, man. I needed to hear that today. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Like I've been like ever since we had that episode, and I was very unsatisfied, like unhappy. And I needed a job at the time, but I love doing this. And in order for this, in order for you to grow, you need time to develop it. And I didn't want to. And you were calling all the way from California at that time,
Yeah, yeah.
man. And I told my wife, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm done." The next day, literally, the next day, I was like, "I'm gonna see how this day goes." And if it goes the way I already imagined it went, um, dude, 4 o'clock hit. Here, I'm out. Don't call me. Don't call me. I told him, don't call me. And I was done.
And that's a trip. Like you just blew my mind just now because I have definitely been in the space of like looking for a job, and this speaks to me more than going clock into somebody's 9 to 5, but also I need to pay my bills.
Yeah,
But
man.
telling you that the universe works in funny ways. Like I've had job interviews. I'm well qualified for the work, and I have not been getting callbacks. And it's like the first time in my life where normally I'm going for a job interview and I'm getting a job
Hmm.
immediately. And this is
Yeah.
like the first time in my life. It's like, nah, you supposed to be doing something else.
No,
So I
same here.
stay
Same
here.
here. Same here. This time around, like at that time, I was in operations. So I was running at that time, I was easily running 50 different properties.
Damn.
So like my job was to see operations, and that night in that particular building there was a giant fucking tube broke, flooded 2 floors. I'm talking about flooded, damaged computers, laptops. Like it was crazy.
Damn.
And I did it. I did it. And like that was like my fourth. I was working on that building since Saturday. I think our thing was on a Wednesday or on a Thursday,
Yeah.
right? And I had enough. Like the job was okay, but it interrupted this.
Yeah.
It interrupted this. So now in my other go around, and I've been working here and there, but when I look for a job now, because you need money to pay your bills and also
Sure.
continue investing in your craft and what you're passionate about, right?
Yeah.
I'll go for a part-time or something that is getting clock in, clock out. Like back then, I had so much responsibility, over 50 employees, 50 properties, give or take, and a family, an autistic son, a marriage, and it was fucking up this flow, and I couldn't. Dude, I've been waiting to tell you this for so long. You have no idea. But anyway, how you been? Let's talk about you. What's
Man,
up?
I've been good. So last time I was on the show, I was on my way to moving out of LA, quitting my job, moving out of LA. Well, actually, no, I'd already quit my job by then because I was teaching at the
Mm,
time, and I was already doing my own after school program. But yeah, I left LA to be a nomad for like shit, damn near like 6 months. Took a road trip up to Vancouver.
nice.
Came back down, brought my car. So I drove my car to Houston from LA. So went from LA to Vancouver, back down, drove to Texas,
Wow.
left my car, and I went to New York for, well, I was in between New York and Jersey City for like 2 months, or maybe like a month and a half, 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Went to Houston for 4 months. So I went just stay with family.
Wow.
I was like, man, I'm moving around so much. I need to slow down a little bit. Like I'm not working. I don't have money coming in. I know I could go be with family and sit still for a minute. And it was nice, man. It was definitely a reflection point for me, like going back to staying with my family. Cause I mean, I've been taking care of myself for the last 20 years,
Yeah.
you know. So to be so reliant on other people, it felt very vulnerable. But
Yeah.
I feel blessed to have those spaces, you know what I mean? To have family that, has a place for me to stay, to have friends that allow me to stay with them. Like it was really cool. And my partner and I, we after like moving around so much, we
Mm-hmm.
both were like, it's time to like get grounded somewhere, not necessarily settle, but just be grounded somewhere for a little
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
It's hard to really focus when you just moving everywhere,
Mm.
so to have a space where we could be still and really focus. And yeah, we decided on Newark, and I've been here
Dang,
like
bro. All
three
the
months
places,
now.
Newark.
Yeah. And it's so funny, I had never been out here except
I hope it's the nice side of Newark.
so I'm downtown. I'm not too far from the library. I'm looking at the
Okay.
couch.
Rutgers.
Yeah, it's like
Oh,
right.
you're at a good place then. You're at a good place.
Yeah, and it's been cool. And I see it remind me of any other city, like a downtown. So I
Mm-hmm.
see where they're trying to build it up, pump more art into it, pump
Mm-hmm.
like just creative
Yeah.
into it. And I want to be a part of it. This is the first time I've been in a city and I just been like, man, I always go places on a mission to like, really get what I need out of a city. And
Mm-hmm.
it's the first time I'm really like, man, I want to give back to a city. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Are you happy?
I am. I will say the job stuff has kind of it's been challenging.
It
It's been
is. Yeah.
challenging, but it's crazy because I have opportunities come up for me. Like I've hosted two live podcasts in the last 2 months. You know what I mean? I did one last month, did one like last week.
Yeah. I saw that.
I appreciate that. And it's like these opportunities are coming in what I want, but then there's that old programming telling me that, yeah, you got to have a job, you have to be doing this, you have to be doing that. So it's really a lot of reprogramming myself, but I would say overall I do feel good and I do feel happy.
That's the most important part.
Yeah.
Everything, everything else, will work itself out. And when it comes to a job, just keep looking, keep exploring. It's tough. It's
Yeah.
not because I've been like, me being an entrepreneur, I'm also always hustling. I do real estate with my wife. I have still have a t-shirt printing business. I've started doing 3D tours with a program. So I'm always hustling. But
That's dope.
yeah, so but my son, he's 7 years old. I'm struggling with the school system because he's special needs. He needs uh he needs help, which unfortunately the school system like here in Jersey City, the one they're recommending it's not adequate for him. So right now we're lowering up and all that process, and that's derailing from the hustle mode.
Yeah.
So I need to, find something with a stable income. Doesn't have to be great, but something coming in because it's important. Bills do catch up. So just, just take it easy. You'll get there.
I appreciate that.
You'll get there.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I think it's been hard for me because I have been looking for work in like podcast production. I mean, I've been doing this since 2017. So it's
Bro,
like
same here.
I got the skill set for it. I've seen results. I've been paid to do this. You know what I mean? Like I've made money from doing this before, but because I've been doing it independent, a lot of these companies don't really respect um just my experience level, and the funny thing is like I feel like I could do what I do and what they do. And I
Hmm.
don't think they could do what I do because there's an energy that I bring to what I do. So it's like, I could add more flavor to what you already have.
Hmm.
because you don't want to take the chance on me,
Yeah.
you miss out, you know. So I'm having to remind myself often, like, it's not my loss
You know,
when people pass up on me. Like, it's really their
they
loss.
they unfortunately, because I've been also doing this, same as you, they see you as a threat. Like once you
Yeah.
become an entrepreneur and you've been doing it for a couple of years, the knowledge, the experience you gain, just self hustling alone will beat beat somebody with a bachelor degree or
Yeah.
somebody who's been in the business for, let's say, 15 years. For the simple fact is that that person has been in that institute for 15 years, and it has a already way established of doing things. You who have been in entrepreneurship doing it, you have to figure out.
Yeah.
You have to figure out so many things. And if you're doing like there's like you do they talk about podcasts. There's so many forms how to produce it, so many ways different how to do it, that your experience doubles the amount as this person working for 15 years.
Yeah.
And also you're comfortable.
Yeah.
You're comfortable. Like, why would you do more if you're comfortable? Especially if that's your dream job, you know? So I've been doing the same thing. I've been looking for radio broadcasting,
Yeah.
some type of journalism, sometimes to get my feet wet, and it's difficult because like I'm not a great writer. I can't spell for the shit, but I can defend myself, and when I put my mind to it, I'm very good.
Yeah.
But in a world where AI is doing that for you, and you have people using that to create a blog and clickbait and ads, it's difficult.
Yeah.
So that substance is slowly deteriorating.
Yeah. And you know what? It's, I'm trying to evolve with the game right now and understanding, like, either AI is going to be your friend or it's going to be your enemy. And knowing that, that's kind of like the standard now. It's like, all right, how can I use this to my advantage? So I do use Chat GPT for a lot of stuff, and I
Me
also
too,
have my own
all the
flavor.
time. Yeah,
Yeah.
all the time. But when you have companies now using to produce, for
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
it's different. And then like think about it. We like before podcasting became a main thing, there was blogging.
Yeah.
There was blogging. So there's so many people that have established a blog. Even if we could sit there dissect it, this is not relevant, nor the continuity involved in this is not credible. They've been doing it for so long that they use chat GPTs and just makes their life easier.
Yeah.
Just put a thought in it and have them write 100-letter word, and boom, here's your article, here's your blog.
Yeah.
You know,
And it take a lot of pressure off of you as a creative. I know for me, sometimes I'm overthinking what to say, how to say it. And sometimes I'll just put in, hey, this is what I'm trying to say. Give me a paragraph on this. Give me a Instagram post or whatever it is that I
hmm
need. And it writes it up and it's like, oh, that's exactly what I wanted to say, but I was
hmm
thinking too much about it.
See, for me, I use it like I just finished like 2 months ago my last semester of college, not my last, but one of my semesters, and I had to write papers.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will take paper, hey, write it. But because I'm slow like that, I sometimes don't understand what the fuck they want me to write.
Yeah.
I don't understand, especially I'm doing everything online. I'm doing it all myself. Like I don't, I'm always moving. So I don't have time to every time I sit down, it has to be worth it. And
Yeah.
I have to be focused. So when I look at what they want me to write and they want me to write something, 2,000 words for something, I don't understand what they're asking me. And it could be just because my mind is going, so many places. So I'll use GPT, put there the question, tell me what this means. Tell me what they want.
Yeah.
And I'm reading, boom, got it. Erase it. Let me go to words. Bah, 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 bah.
Yeah.
It's a tool.
Hmm.
It's how you use it.
I agree. I agree, man.
So you're here in New Jersey and Newark. How's your experience been? And talk to me about these events you've been hosting because they're amazing.
I appreciate that, man. So I last year I hosted like my first live podcast, and I kind of run it like a conversation where like the audience gets to engage
Yeah.
in the conversation. Um, so yeah, when I moved out here, I was like, man, I wanna do this. Like, and actually I had a friend, shout out to my friend Christina. She told me, she was like, I challenge you to do another live podcast. She was like, when you did it last time, your energy was high. Like, you need to do another one of those. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try it out. So I reached out to this company in LA, the Soho House, and I just hit them up, sent them a pitch. Like I already had a pitch because I had done it before. And they were like, yeah. So I did it on Juneteenth, and Newark Pride had like a pitch a proposal type of thing, like pitch an event for Newark Pride. And I was like, yo, I want to do a live podcast. Sent the same proposal, but altered it a little bit. And yeah, they approved it. They gave me the location, had the sound equipment and everything, and I showed up and I prepped for it. And it was powerful, man. Like it's so powerful, like especially just with like the type of material that I'm doing, the conversations that I'm having on my podcast, to be able to have them publicly with a group of people and people contribute to those conversations. Like you just see in real time like how healing it is for somebody to express like something they may have not been able to express before, or to hear somebody else share something that they've
Mhm.
been feeling. Like it's really dope, man. It's really dope.
That's dope. I'm happy to hear that. That sounds amazing. Now, when you pitch this proposal, they're the one purchasing and you're managing. How does that work?
So with what I've been doing, so it's not even like purchasing anything. Like it's usually for me, I'm just asking for them to let me use the venue. So it's like,
Okay,
let me use your venue. My people will come and they'll buy drinks, they'll buy food or
got
whatever
it,
it is that
got
they
it,
need to do. If you let me just use your space,
got
so,
it.
so that's kind of how I've been getting opportunities off of it. But I do want to move into doing my own events and like actually being able to charge for tickets and like make my own money, or even if I'm not charging for tickets, because I really want to keep things free for people.
Mhm.
But I would love to partner with companies on making this happen. So it's like, if I do get a bookstore that lets me host it, let me at least get, audibles right here. Let me
Yeah,
get
there's this place in Jersey City.
yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. But just before I forget, Jersey City, Words Bookstore. It's a
Okay.
bookstore, Jersey City. They're always doing an event in their bookstore.
Okay.
I'll send you when done here. I'll send you their Instagram.
Yeah.
Check them. I think that's a perfect venue for you.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that. And I don't want to limit my conversations. I know
Mhm.
like the last two, because I did one for Pride in New York, I did one for Pride in Newark, but I don't want to just have Pride conversations. I don't want to just have
Mm,
queer conversations. Like I really want to just talk about human experience and just shit that we all go through. You know what I mean? Like I really want to yeah, I just really want to help everybody be better. You know what I'm
mm.
saying?
Damn, that's powerful stuff, man. I feel you. I'm
Yeah.
going through the same thing, and we're like, I'm limited in certain areas because like I don't like my family comes first. Like
Yeah.
for me to like open up a venue, same thing you're doing, like I can't just make that decision like that. I have to build towards that, right?
Yeah.
And it's a numerous of things that's made it difficult for me. Which like, at first when I first started, is like advertising was difficult for me to do because I believe then we're like, if it's good, it's gonna get out there.
Yeah.
If it's good, it's gonna get out there. But then you have individuals like Deal Talk is all about talking about your dreams, what inspires you, and as you're being inspired, you inspire others to obtain what you're trying to obtain, right? And but not everyone has that.
Yeah.
A lot of people that I've had on the show simply just gave up, and the podcast has tons of knowledge.
Yeah.
But it's just like also in a world where everyone has a podcast, everyone. And then like people think that I'm going to start a podcast, I'm going to make money. They don't know the angles you have to do. And then
Yeah.
what happens is now they stop doing it. Now you have an overwhelming, exaggerated world of podcasting with a bunch of podcasts that it didn't go nowhere.
Yeah.
So like when you talk to somebody, you have a podcast, nobody takes you seriously anymore.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Like me sitting with a bank and getting a loan because I have this vision, like because I call like it's deal talk. It's Dream Inspire 10. That's how I present it.
Yeah.
Because a podcast is a platform.
Yeah.
Like if that's a Deal Talk podcast, but you go on my YouTube, it's Deal Talk TV.
Yeah.
It's just one of the platforms. And when you go to tell them that, they'll laugh like, what is this? Because the market has changed so much. And the only way for you to excel is doing what you're doing
Yeah.
and outlast everybody else. Like the people that are really having success in podcasting is because there are people that have money already.
Yeah.
You have these major figures that said, fuck you to the networks. I'm starting my own thing. They already for years have a fan base. They have money, they have resources, they can hire their own people. So when you have individuals like ourselves that are trying it as a passion and just as a purpose, because we see a purpose in this, it becomes so much challenging.
It is, man. And I almost see it like because before podcasting, I was like really pursuing being a musician. And I see podcasting just like music, where it's like it's not really a lot of money in the music, and you got to find other ways to get it. So that's why I am, doing live events. But see, doing live events, that leads to me getting opportunities to like host this event or be on this panel and like really trying to find more ways in podcasts because I truly love this shit. But also it's hard, man. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's really hard to do, especially like I said, when you trying to pay your bills and when you're trying to
Mm-hmm.
sustain like just a livable lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm not even asking for nothing crazy, like really just wanting to take care of myself and
Mm-hmm.
able to support my basic needs. And this isn't always the way to do it. And it's sad because like this is something like people like us really truly care about. And then there's people that just like because of the name or because of the fame, they can just
Mm-hmm.
turn on a fucking microphone,
Mm-hmm.
check. And it's like, I get it. I do. I understand. But it's fucking up the game for everybody else.
Yeah, I want to have a conversation with you because I have an idea, but I can't do it on air.
For sure.
But if it wasn't the screen here, I can show you my whiteboard.
Yeah.
And this and I'll share a brief because I've shared it past and other podcasts. For 3 years I've been trying to make this happen. Three
Yeah.
years. And it's it's difficult because nobody has that hunger like you have that hunger. Nobody sees the vision as we see the vision, right?
Yeah.
Like everyone, unfortunately for us to get to that next jump, that hurdle, to be that name, we have to unite. We
Yeah.
have to, we have to create our own form of Netflix or our own Uptown Records, our
Yeah.
own thing. So we can be the it,
Yeah.
you know? And I have found people, I've had endless, and I'll say useless because everyone is a yes man.
Yeah.
But me working in operations, like I'm used to having these meetings and what consists of. So when I ask them to break it down and why you do this, they look at me like three heads. They look at it as, oh yeah, we're gonna make money. It's more than that. It's difficult. It's difficult, and not everyone sees it. So like, let's say if I start my own network, right? Like I like video more than audio. I
Yeah.
just like I like seeing myself in the screen, despite my I'm not shaped up enough. I like that shit, right?
Yeah.
And if I say, all right, well, where's the freest, cheapest one? And we start Like, let's get a Roku channel, right? Or, one of those things that have you could create your own channel,
Yeah.
right? Or YouTube channel, Facebook. Everything has to coincide with one another, right? And I have a podcast. You have a podcast. And go back to like TV era. Well, 9 o'clock, this episode is gonna come in. Next episode is gonna come in. Next episode is gonna come in, right? And have somebody like Zay Rodriguez who has an enormous amount of continuity that even though it's short film, he has content.
Yeah.
He has his own movie studio, right? And he's in Philly. All right, we'll partner up with him. Take his, now let's put it here under one umbrella.
Yeah.
And instead of now hustling to like me, like, all right, I broke down, I gotta pay for advertisement. Instead of just advertising my shit, take that money now, advertise a whole network.
Right.
So like I'll put $100, you put in $100, he put in 100, and whoever we part that money, like 100, 200 is better than 100.
Right.
300 is better too. And if we partner up equally, we all can just take that financial and now put it into one thing, and we all have views and we all have options.
Yeah.
Right? It's more easier said than done, but that's the only way me seeing we can grow.
Man, community is important. Community is important, especially like in this shit. And I love that mindset because as I listen to you, like for myself, I personally don't want to be the person to start the network, but I
Mm-hmm.
want to be the person that's producing all the shows. Like I do envision for myself like having a production company where I'm doing 4 or 5 shows at one time.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to be a part of a network that is housing all of that. So that makes sense, man. And it is easier said than done, but I think the more you pour into that dream, the clearer it
Mm-hmm.
gets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it's 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 going either going two ways, right? It's either I continue or you continue or like whoever continues doing their path until they grow, they flourish. Or like if it's gonna take me 10 years, it's probably take me 10 years to actually flourish. But if we do it all together, it'll take us half,
Right, for sure.
you know? And that's just, I see a lot of people struggling with the same thing I'm struggling, but like there's an opportunity,
Yeah,
but nobody wants that.
yeah. I think man, it's really hard, when and I'll tell you a lot of times people don't even know what they dream is to like
Mm-hmm.
even fathom somebody else's dream. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a lot of times lately what I've been doing is having accountability partners on stuff because there are people that I want to work with, but I also see that, they are on their own journey and it may not the timing may not align of like me wanting to do something with them and them wanting to do their own thing or me want to do my own,
Mm-hmm.
however that works. So it's like while we are in that space, we could at least push each other to keep going. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like if you working on something and I'm working on something, how can I support you in being accountable of your goals? How can I support you in like pushing harder for your dreams? Like if my dream is to take my podcasting show on tour. You know what I'm saying? Like I may need you to just check in with me, once a week. Like,
Mm-hmm.
did you reach out to these spaces? Like, or
Mm-hmm.
how you doing with your goals? Like that shit is just as important too, man. And I really been trying to create more accountability for myself with people because man, like I said, some people just don't even know what they want to do, but they know like they don't want to do what you want to do,
Mm-hmm.
but it could benefit them because like again, like you said, everybody I see it almost like everybody want to be the man, but don't like too many. You ever hear that phrase, too many chiefs and not enough Indians?
Yes.
Sometimes people want to be the chief, but don't really know what they want to be the chief of. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I find makes a lot of things challenging.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And that's mostly the subliminal message I get all the time.
Yeah,
I'm constantly getting that. And I don't take it as disrespect. It is what it is. So,
yeah,
I backtracked that idea and just continue doing my own path. If I made it 3 years doing this on my own, and I've already won 2 awards for best podcasts in
Yeah.
my community, which
Yeah.
is crazy because I get more support from people from like Australia, uh, oh damn, Transylvania's lady I had, London, than the people in actually my community. But
Damn.
when I tell them, hey, vote for me, they step up, that raises volumes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I just I just continue doing it on my own. It gets tough, but like you gotta look at it as also like what I've been forced to understand, you gotta look at it as a business wise.
Yeah.
And the for like working in operations, that's the side like I'm I'm very good at. And that's a side of me like I'm scared of because it is what it for me it is what it is. Either yes or no. I know I gotta do this, this is where I'm gonna go. But when you start dealing with people and you have relations with those people, it gets difficult. Now I'm doing my best to bite my tongue, right? And so the relationship doesn't tarnish. Because like if this is what's needed to grow and you're not willing, you don't see it, that's fine. So I gotta move myself away.
Yeah.
So
No,
is
that
that.
that's yeah. That makes total sense. And I'm getting to a place now where it's like, don't even take it personal. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Like it ain't even worth taking personal because like I said again, people don't know what they want. So it's
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna be mad at you for
No, and the crazy part, you've done a lot. You had your I think EP out. You had you write on the blog. I was getting reading your newsletters. Like you're always
I
doing
get yours
something.
too, man. I appreciate that. I get yours too. And
Yeah,
and I want to tell you when we started, like, I may not listen to every episode, but I really do appreciate just seeing the push that you put out with your podcast. Like I see the clips, I get the newsletters, and
I appreciate
yeah,
that.
man, like I wanted to acknowledge that though, because I do remember that episode of you doing it in your car to now like just seeing you like just
Ah,
consistent.
man, I try, bro. I try. It's hard, but it's all about time management. And I'm starving, bro. Some people are hungry. I'm starving. For me to go work a 9 to 5 is not even just me. It's about my son. That's a
Yeah,
sacrifice I'm willing to take.
yeah.
Like I had, I was working a part time, going to school, and doing this, and helping coach little league with my grandson, which this year we won championship.
Oh, that's
Uh,
what's up.
right. So I had a lot of things going on,
Yeah,
and I was burned out. Just school, or mine was lost.
yeah,
But I put myself and we're like, here, this is my calendar. And I share it where I usually look for people. I want to talk to you. I'll get no, 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 no to a yes. Okay, boom. Now I said, put here if you want to come on the show, come on the show. Dude, I had 4 months booked.
wow,
Booked. And
wow,
this is me like I'll book myself to save that date so I can take a break. And I literally like my last booking of that I was last week,
yeah.
right? And I'll have a vault recorded, and when it's all done, I'll stop and I'll take my time, edit it, boom. At one point, like a couple of weeks ago, I was like, I got so much, I'm throwing three at a time, three at a time. I did like for 3 weeks. So like, but I'm hungry. I'm hungry, and like it's like, and this is I wish I was the on the Art of Letting Go podcast so I can let this go, right? So humor me for a second. We're on your podcast, right? And I want to let this go, right? Like when I was a teenager, a young kid, I was very misunderstood and I was problematic, right? And I had to be a certain way. I had to carry myself a certain way to survive. But when I said I'm gonna get something, I'm gonna get it, no matter what. And as an adult, I've been, when I'm fucking what, 10 years, almost on 10 years being married, right? Um, and I've been fighting how to bring a little bit of that back, but also keeping the space and we're like, I can't be that person. I have a family man and all this, but like the disrespect is real. The undeniable, like they will deny you until the day you prove to them they can't deny you no longer. And I'm a vendettic person, bro. I am a very, when I have a grudge, I'm taking that to the end. I don't care the outcome. I'm taking that win or lose, right? And so I had a deep back in, and I've been struggling how to a little bit of this, but continue being this. And I'm slowly adapting to where like, okay, I want this. I see this. I've been working toward this. I can't always be the bigger and the better person. I can't always be, yeah, man, we'll just see. No. Like, I slowly have to be like, you're the in or out because I want this. Like, if I stop doing this, then those are 3 years wasted.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't keep depending on others to blow up and say, hey, they were there in DIOTALK. I can't. Like I'm searching for like Jersey City General Square, the Lowe's Theater. I want to fill that historic theater out. I want to have a show there. I want to be the David Letterman of not TV, but when he got into Netflix. I want to have those conversations, which I can, but it's difficult for me.
yeah,
Like I'm a person and we're like, I don't fit in. Like, we're in 2024, we have a lot of movements going on, and I don't fit in their movement. Either because I'm not gay, or I'm not black, or I'm just not white enough, or I choose not to indulge in certain activities because that's not who I am. I don't fit in. So, in my point of view, I have to say fuck it. I have to stand out.
for sure. For sure. And I'm gonna tell you, man, like I think there are people that feel just like you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like this is you putting out the bat signal for those people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yo, who out there is feeling like me? Because I'm gonna tell you, even for me, like being black, being gay, being all these
Mm-hmm.
things, like I don't fit into the typical boxes of any of this shit.
Mm-hmm.
But because of what I'm putting out into the world is people that are like, yo, when you said this, that made me feel this.
Yeah.
Or, I thought I was the only person. So it's like, the more you keep putting yourself out there, man, the more you're gonna be finding, like, keep finding those people and like turning those people into your community. Like I think that's been like the biggest thing for me with this podcast, and is like having listeners that become just a part of my community. And not saying
Mm-hmm.
they're my best friends or nothing like that,
Mm-hmm.
but like these are people that like anytime I release an episode, they looking for it. Anytime I release merch, they looking for it. Anytime I do something that speaks to them because I spoke to them in a way that
Mm-hmm.
somebody else hasn't. And it may be two people to begin. It might be four people. It may grow to 60. It may grow to 100 to 300 until it gets to where it needs to go. But it's like, man, even with that, like, really, really appreciating it. And also like just knowing like it's gonna come, man. It's gonna come. Like I'm telling you that, and I'm telling myself that too,
Yeah.
because I know the feeling. I really do.
Yeah.
And I felt it in starting a new podcast. I started another show earlier this year, and the numbers just weren't doing what the art of letting go was doing. And it was kind
Mm-hmm.
of fucking with me. It was like, man, why are people not supporting this? Why is it this? Why is it that? And it's like, yo, the people that's gonna support it, gonna support it. You just gotta just keep putting it out there. You just gotta stay consistent and keep flowing it. And whoever gonna find it, gonna find it. But also using that shit as leverage. How many podcast episodes do you have? I forget what number you at.
Next week, 178.
That's a lot of episodes. I'm at 209, and it's been a slow crawl once I got to 200. But 178, like that gives you leverage just to show, even if you were trying to get a partnership with a company or something like that, it's like, yo, I put out 170 episodes. That lets you know I'm gonna be here for a while.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's like you do better. And I'm starting to find, man, like really honing in on what my shit is. So like for me, the art of letting go feel, I used to tell people it's mental wellness, but it's not. It's not. It's more than mental wellness. It's like personal development, but with like the rawness of like hip hop. It's a
Hmm.
lot of things like wrapped into one. And being able to tell somebody that so clear to tell them like, yo, this is why you should partner with me. Like, yeah, Joe Rogan got more numbers than me, but these 300 people that follow me, they gonna buy into what the fuck I say.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like really, really being able to use that shit as leverage. Like I'm learning, man, and I'm trying to share as much as I'm learning while I'm learning.
Hmm. And that's another thing, like don't compare yourself to anybody. Like
Yeah,
as much as Joe Rogan is big, like he didn't get there like overnight,
for sure.
like and like
Sure.
what you're doing, what he's like, you're like you're open and transparency. You're having conversations with people. You're not. It's not about a particular issue, what you're promoting, what gender, or even what movement society you're in. It's you're looking into the person. While they look at your eyes, you look at their soul, and from there you're putting a seed and having a emotional healthy conversation, and it's different. And
Yeah,
then not a lot of people are gonna understand that because we live in a world and we're like consumership is important, making money is important. But what if I tell you if I continue to work this and takes me whatever time it takes me, this will outlast anything you're trying to do right now
yeah,
because it's meaningful. Because maybe this generation not, but the next generation that content is gonna be there and they're gonna hear that and you're gonna do something that can be like, oh shit, I've seen this guy. Let me check out what he's doing, you know?
yeah,
And sometimes you just gotta keep putting out, putting out, putting out, putting out, putting out, putting out, putting out. If this is your dream, you're gonna have to work harder than you work on your 8 hours. You're gonna
yeah,
have to, if this is your dream, you're gonna have to take shit from other people just to produce that the salary, the money, whatever, to continue doing this. Because it's basic. Everyone pays their dues. No
yeah,
matter in what world you're in, industry you're in, you have to pay your dues. Right now, there was a shift and we're like, everything was a social influencer. They saw how much money it costs. So now instead of me paying you, you have to become a business and pay for your own thing. And you just gain,
yeah,
right? Now it's different. So like when you get to that end, it'll be more satisfying when you say you built it on your own,
yeah.
and that's where you want to be.
Yeah, man. I just told a friend today, like I'm really in the space of like believing in myself beyond what I even truly believe. Like, I feel like I have to believe something way past me in
Mm.
order to really be successful with this.
Nah, you gotta see like me, I like it's a dream becomes a vision.
Yeah,
See, these are until it becomes reality. You dream, vision, reality. Right now, I don't believe in myself. Right now, I'm going to show you.
yeah,
I'm going to show you. That's how you got to show these motherfuckers how do you do this.
yeah,
And sometimes it's going to come out raw, or sometimes it's going to come out but like I said, they're going to deny you. Like if they could go fucking buy a shirt at Joe's Rogan, there's no different. They could buy a shirt from you.
yeah. That's
If they
true.
could, if they can buy a shirt from Nikes, even though it's an American company, they could fucking go buy it from you.
Yeah,
You get what I'm saying? Like this is where like I want partnership. I want partnership. I want people to partner up that doing the same thing as I am, the same level as I, so we all can grow together. I
yeah,
don't want I don't want to go, and it's hard, but I don't want to partner up with somebody who has money that's gonna give it to me, and now I gotta go. I have to literally walk on eggshells to and watch what I'm putting out there. Then what's the whole fucking point of doing this? What is the whole
right.
fucking
Yeah,
point of being an entrepreneur?
yeah.
If you're not sure, like how many times I got fucking suspended on YouTube
Damn.
talking about conversations that example how my son got autism.
Yeah.
When I start going down the rabbit hole in the books I've read, it points to only one thing where I cannot mention here because if it detects it, boom, there you go.
Oh
You know,
wow.
like, so what's the whole point?
Yeah.
I'd rather take this struggle and go through what I'm going through. And even if I don't make it, at least I tried. Then look, because when you're desperate, you'll say anything and do anything. And God, that tells volumes out of person. volumes about a person. And sometimes you can't, you got to put in God's hands and you got to take deep breaths. Remember that, God will put you in a tight position, but he will never choke you.
Yeah.
Understand that, like, God would open the door, but it's up to you to go through that door. And remember that you can sit here and pray that God to give you something. He'll give you it, right? But he'll only give you a certain percentage of it. The
Yeah.
rest, that's on you, buddy.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I speak on my behalf on what I'm going through. Fucking going to school, raising a kid with autism, in a marriage, for the last 2 years suffering depression, right? And where I'm sad and I don't even know what the fuck I'm sad. Having counselor come in to help my son and look at me is like, oh my God, you're depressed, and not knowing what the fuck, you know, like what are you talking about? So
Yeah.
I'm going through it, but I'll be damned if I'm not gonna swing. And if I hit it, I hit it. If I don't, fuck it. But that's
Yeah.
life,
Yeah.
and that's what it's about. You, man, you traveled, you've done the best that you can now. Everything from now is up to you. And you'll
Yeah.
get where you need to go. You'll get a job. You'll get that's suited for you. You get your venue when you need it. Like you'll get that. If you've gotten this far, sometimes you got to go a little farther.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And I'm committed to the journey, man. That's one thing I will say is like I'm committed to the journey. I understand like none of this shit happens overnight. None of it, like anything worth it is not gonna be easy. So it's just like, I'm committed to the work. Like whatever the work is, like I'm not afraid of it in this phase of my life.
Yeah. And it's crazy because if you think about it, if you were more younger, going through where you're going now, you feel like it was impossible. But everything else fades. It's not that serious.
Yeah.
It's not that complex. It only becomes complex and anxiety attacks is because when it's something new. But if you just think about it, have clarity because sometimes you're in an environment that's so overwhelming you can't even think, hear the thoughts you're trying to, tell yourself that you've been here before, but it's just different aspect of it. And
Yeah.
you go through it. Bro, like foreclosure in my house, got it. Not being able to pay my car, no, got it. You know, so many bull collectors got them. And yet time and 8, 9 years I've been married. It'll be good times, bad times, good time, back to and it's right now I'm up to date. God knows tomorrow may not.
Yeah.
But if you didn't have those struggles, then life will be fucking boring.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you gotta go through it. And like bro, like I went on a war last year, and I thank the people who were there for me. This
Yeah.
year, I thank myself because this year I put it out there and they voted for me. I didn't go a politician like everybody else and whatnot this year. And if I did, it was very minimal. But like nobody believed in me. There's people that still don't believe in me. There's people questioning. Like I remember when I first moved here, I grew up all my life in Puerto Rico. People used to make fun of me because my accent was so thick, even being American here.
Yeah.
They would make fun of me and try to bully me, and I wouldn't let them. And I understood that, like, okay, this is your game. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna beat you in your own game. Years later, I find people in the street, and oh my God, I see what you're doing. Oh my God, look at the way you speak. Oh my God, and oh, thank you. I'm trying to be humble in my head, but fuck you.
Yeah. I
You
feel
know,
it. Yeah.
and the hardest when you get there, the hardest thing is to be humble because all you want to do is say, "You motherfucker."
Yeah.
It's like when you meet somebody, I see you've been doing what you're doing. Like, damn, you can't even share. You share, you can't even
Yeah.
like, you can't even leave a comment. Like,
Yeah.
people don't understand. Like, people will leave all the negative shit on your comment, on your picture, on your video, but no one can sit there and have take 5, 10 minutes or 2 minutes even to say something nice. It's like, I'm proud of you. Do keep doing. You'll get there. They
Yeah.
don't know. They don't know that how much we need to hear that. They don't know that we're more than a content creator.
Yeah.
You know, like what we're doing is essentially what people needed to hear, like when Rodney King got his ass beaten.
Yeah.
They were furious, they were angry, but they needed people in the radio to talk subconsciousness that says, if you want to attack, that's fine. But what you need to do is march, not
Yeah.
destroy everything, because if you when you destroy the community, it affects the community. I'm a fucking billion that comes and buy your shit and there's no more community.
Yeah.
Like we have to, despite of our anger and our bitterness, we have to challenge one another to be better. And and I'm just using that analogy, right? Like I
Yeah.
apologize if I offended anyone,
That's all
but
good.
like we have to challenge and uplift one another.
Yeah,
It
for
doesn't matter,
sure.
if you're gay, you're straight, you're Hispanic, you're purple, you're black. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't take a lot to be a good person, do the right thing, or be kind.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Ladies and gentlemen, the art of letting go.
Man, I felt everything you shared for real. I appreciate that.
Appreciate that, bro. Takes time, like I sit and wonder, like, am I doing a good job? Like I know my product's not perfect. I know, sometimes my word slur, or I'd say too much or shit like that drives me crazy, right? When I'm editing, but it's better than what other people are doing. Like I've watched guests on other episodes and they don't have like this right here. Like you're here. This is a privilege for me. So I'm always gonna be respectful. I'm always gonna admire you. I'm always gonna do my best to throw your flowers because you deserve it. And second, you can't. You took out your time and you were here. I see how other people go on other podcasts and they have all these special effects and all this shit, and they have no privilege or respect or admiration or appreciation, which is the most part in having this person here.
Yeah,
Because you trying to come promote your album, your book, like that takes a lot. Not everybody's gonna like it. Not everybody has gonna have the decency or the adequate to, hey, this is a great job. Not to my liking, but it's good. And I think others need to, like, so therefore I am appreciated.
of course, man.
Appreciative.
I appreciate you having me. I really do. Like I said, you got me inspired just starting out the conversation to let me know about you quitting your job. Like, you
Dude,
know,
I waited so long. Like I know like when you were here in Jersey, our schedules couldn't
yeah,
coincide, but like I wanted to tell you that story on your show.
yeah,
I've been waiting so long to tell you that shit, bro. Like when I listen to your show and go on your Instagram and on Indeed, you write like I'm not always aware, but I'm aware. I don't know if that
yeah.
makes sense. And I've always wanted to tell you that. And I saw you this last event you did, and I was like, fuck, I'm just gonna try to reach out now that I have my book all cleared and see
Yeah.
if he has time to come on the show. And I'm just gonna fucking tell him.
Man, I appreciate that. And I really do appreciate you having me back on because it was a reflection point for me as well, man. Just kind of looking at like the last year and just where things have been to like looking at today. And I like I said, you asking me, am I happy? Like I had to think about that because I do feel happy and sometimes when you in this shit, you're not thinking about happiness.
Nah, bro.
You're not thinking about it all. And I'm gonna send that question back to you and ask you, are you happy?
Shit. According to the counselors I met, I'm clinically depressed. But I'm just like I have a very serious face. I've always had that in my life, and it's difficult for me when I'm unhappy
Yeah,
because there's a lot going on in my life that I can't really elaborate on the show. But I'm tired,
yeah,
and I a big factor. There's a lot of big factors, but one of the big factors really affecting me is the situation with my son. And Like I'm on some like, give me a camera. I'm start blackmailing motherfuckers to get the some, to get the help my son needs because
Yeah.
there's a lot of dirty motherfuckers in the school system here, right? And I'm my angry face is my quiet face that looks like I'm sad face. So you wouldn't tell, but I'm happy. I'm always happy. You know, it takes me a lot to get out of that place I go just because it's so much.
Yeah.
There's so much going on that in order for me to get out, I need to disconnect. And today I went on 3 hour hiking, um, and go one with nature. And when I come back, I feel like I'm exhausted, but like I have a reset.
Yeah.
But that's what I need. But I'm happy. I wake up, nothing's perfect, but things shouldn't be perfect.
Yeah.
I get to wake up, I get to see my son. I go to sleep, I get to see my son. I have custody of my grandson. I'm raising him. Bro, he's becoming such an amazing person. I see my wife hustling in our real estate. My wife's daughters doing their thing. Not easy, but they're doing their thing.
Yeah.
And it makes me happy, but sometimes I'm not able to appreciate or see that because there's so much noise. The overwhelming is crazy. The high sensory that your surroundings can give you can become numbing, and we're like you're stuck and like, what the fuck am I?
Yeah.
But I am happy, but I'm not satisfied.
Yeah.
And I'm hungry,
I feel you. I feel you.
and I'm tired. I'm exhausted. Like I'm really trying to create opportunities for myself, and we're like a minute. If it's a minute, that's a minute. I'm gonna take the advantages of what it is, whatever it is. But I have to be my way. I have to do it my way. I can't keep going through the stigma and we're like, it's like how you go to a job interview and you got to put your like I call it uh and I mean no offense to white people. I call it like my white voice. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, well, I call it that because it reminds me of them, but it's just your professional voice.
Yeah.
I don't I don't use it. I go as me.
Me too. Me too. Yeah.
And sometimes it hurts me and sometimes it's not. But I have to be me. I have to be me. And the advice I always give myself is like I always try to be a better version of me.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. That's what it is, man. Because it's hard, but like it wouldn't be worth it. It was easy.
No, you absolutely right.
I think you're better off building something as you and leaving basically a resume to the world. This is who you are. So when people want to say they cancel you, you be like, fuck you.
Yeah.
No. And I don't know, just fucking break the world.
Yeah. No, I'm with it. That's my
That's
whole.
all it is. That's all it is.
I just want to be disruptive, very disruptive in the world. So yeah, I feel all of that.
And that's what make me happy.
Yeah.
That would make me really happy,
Yeah.
you know? And that just and that's it. And live a life, bro. Like live a life worth living. Make the mistakes you're gonna make mistake. Live it though.
Yeah.
And like one thing I've really fallen in love with throughout the years is like mistakes. You don't want to make a mistake that ruin your life, but make a mistake that you can learn the lesson.
Yeah.
And through, like you have these people who have never lost and always win. And at the end of their life, they're like, something's always missing. And, deep down they feel so unsatisfied because like they know they don't understand how, the energy, the concentration, the emotional toll it takes, falling down, getting back up, and this it's just a story. That's what was gonna make you stronger and anything, to a point you become undefeated.
Yeah, man.
Bro, it's been an honor talking to you again. Hopefully next time I talk to you, I can come on
Yeah,
the art
no,
of letting go.
I for sure want to bring you on the art of letting go. Like I said, I haven't been recording as consistent just because I've been trying to do like the business side of things with it all. But yeah, man, I for sure want to bring you on the art of letting go. I would love to have you on.
Yeah, man, it'll be my honor. Before we go, please tell the people they can find you at.
Man, y'all can find me at justmikebrown.com. You can find me on all social media at the Art of Letting Go podcast. You can find the Art of Letting Go podcast on all streaming networks, streaming platforms. I'm the streaming network. You can also find the Creators Toolkit. That's a podcast I started at the beginning of the year. It's a podcast for creative entrepreneurs, which is something that I was trying out, and I'm probably gonna build on it some more. But yeah, man, you could find me everywhere. I'm out here, Mike Brown.
Boom. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Go support him. Go follow him. Go check out his amazing podcast. Hit him up. Need advice? Hit him up. Want to collaborate? Hit him up. You want to have a guest? Hit him up. Let him know how much you love and support his product, his content. And most of all, say hi.
Yeah.
Say hi. Make sure to go follow me on Instagram, Mr.TrueInspireObtain. Go follow me on Facebook, where I'm releasing all my episodes now. Diomar King Diaz. Go like and subscribe our YouTube channel, DIOTALK TV. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share. Share, 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 because sharing is caring. If you want, go to my website, DreamInspireObtain.com. Go buy my merch. And yeah, have a good night, guys. I'm out.